June 27, 1776. I sprout out of the ground for the first time. Not long after I sprout, I see a man named Thomas Jefferson write the Declaration of Independence through a small window. I have not been on the earth for that long yet, but I could tell that Thomas Jefferson was well liked and was a good writer. I barely could read the Declaration through the small window. All I could see was the Statement of Human Rights. I only knew what the Statement of Human Rights was because a few days ago I saw a piece of paper blowing in the wind with it on it. It also said that John Locke wrote it. Then a couple of days later, on July 4th, a bunch of people came to sign the Declaration. I really couldn't read any of the names on it except John Adams. I could only read his name because it was written in big letters. I could only think he would do this to make the king mad. Afterwards, I see John get a letter from his wife Abigail. He reads it out loud. Abigail basically just said to not forget about the nation's women when fighting for America's independence. Then, when I was sitting in the same hot spot outside, Thomas Jefferson lifts the Declaration, and I spot a list of 27 grievances against the king and his parliament. I skimmed through it quickly, and two of them stand out to me the most. Grievance number 1, that says, he has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. And number 24, that stated, he has plundered or seized, ravaged our coast, burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. In the next 6 months, I grow up to 3 feet. Then, on December 25th, Christmas Day, I see a man named George Washington lead about 2,400 troops across the icy Delaware River. They were on their way to attack Trenton. Then I realized that the soldiers George Washington led only had 10 days left in their contract to be in George's army. As I sat there in the snow, I saw that Trenton's people were not ready or prepared. They're partying and having fun. As soon as George Washington and his troops got to Trenton, half of the troops in George Washington went around the back, and the other half went to the front. Then, at the same time, I saw both of them jump and surprise attack Trenton. It seemed that it took about an hour for the whole battle to take place. After, I saw that George Washington had won the battle. George took all of their weapons, that includes cannons, muskets, bayonets, and their swords. After this, all of the soldiers re-signed their contracts for another year. After this, all of the troops left their fires burning in Trenton. So all of Preston's people thought George and his troops were still there. Then, I watched George and his troops take a night march on January 2nd and 3rd, 1777. When they battled, the British lost somewhere around 275 men, and the Patriots only lost about 40. I sat in my spot of snow, and as I watched the Patriots have their boost in confidence with their double victory.
Over the years, I noticed that black men and women were being worked and had no freedom. I had not a clue to why they were treated like this. I heard from where I was planted that these people were slaves, people who had no freedom and worked every day till they die. It seemed very unfair to me. About 100 years later, a man whose name was spoken of many times, Abraham Lincoln, who is also referred to as a president, I saw gave the Emancipation Proclamation speech during the third year of what seemed like a very bloody war. He stated that the slaves are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, allowing all slaves to finally be set free and live a normal life among everyone else. One group that I see use the Declaration today, specifically the preamble, are women for equal rights. Women were treated different back then, but now they have equality and have been given almost every opportunity that men are given. Over the many years I've lived, it has become clear to me why the Declaration is such a moving document for so many reasons. It grants our independence from Britain. It gives equal rights to formal groups of America. It is such a delicate and precious piece of work by Thomas Jefferson that, without it, normal life for us would never be the same as it were today.